The following is an Encore Flip Your Marketing Flops Micro Summit interview. Warning: although we make our best efforts to provide the latest information, due to the ever-changing nature of the digital marketing industry, some information in this interview may be subject to change. What if your business showed up first in local Google search? What if you could dominate your local competitors in Google search? What if your efforts would last for several years? How would any or all of these impact your business? I'm your host, Joe Sayles Jr. Welcome to Flip Your Marketing Flops, the digital marketing and lead generation podcast. Welcome to Flip Your Marketing Flops, the podcast, providing weekly episodes of presentations, interviews, and conversations with marketing professionals and industry experts discussing common marketing mistakes and how to prevent them. If you're an entrepreneur, local service-based business owner, small business marketer, or a new digital marketing professional, and you don't normally have access to insider marketing knowledge, then this podcast is for you. My purpose is to teach you the hacks, tips, and secrets that will prevent common marketing mistakes, saving you both time and money. I'm your host, Joe Sayles Jr. Today's episode of Flip Your Marketing Flops is SEO Part 2, Off-Page and Local SEO. This is the second part of an Encore presentation I did back in 2021 on the Flip Your Marketing Flops Micro Summit Series number 2. In this episode, you will learn exactly what I did and how I was able to promote my very first client so that they were the first local competitor to show up in their Google local search. They were able to dominate the first 3 pages of the Google search. They were able to stay in this position with no extra SEO efforts for more than 4 years. In case you missed it, in SEO Part 1, On-Page SEO, I shared part of a case study of how I was able to take my very first client, who was one of 20 local competitors, from invisibility to dominating his niche in 28 of the top 30 search results on Google searches for his keywords. If you'd like to see it, it begins at the 2-minute and 48-second mark in episode 10. In that episode, I also shared how fixing 5 critical on-page SEO mistakes were partially responsible for this client's turnaround in their online presence. Those mistakes were: number 1, having incomplete metadata. Number 2, missing location keywords. Number 3, ignoring Google's keyword suggestions. Number 4, missing image alt tags. And number 5, poor keyword placement. In today's episode, I will share the rest of the tactics that were responsible for this client's online presence turnaround. We will take a look at some simple off-page SEO tactics that can make a significant difference in how search engines like Google and Bing view your business. In this episode, we will discuss why it is important to get connected with all of Google properties, how connecting with Bing's properties give you an SEO boost, and the difference between backlinks and citations, and why you need both as a part of your off-page and local SEO strategy. But before we get into off-page and local SEO, I want to provide you with a couple of industry updates since this presentation was first made in 2021. The first update I want to share is the renaming of Google My Business platform to Google Business Profile in 2022. When I get to the section where I am speaking about Google My Business, just recognize that it is now named Google Business Profile. And other than the name change, there were no other changes to the platform at that time. Google Business Profile is Google's tool that allows businesses to showcase and manage their online presence. With it, you can provide your business description, location and hours, images, posts, Google Maps, Google reviews, and most importantly, it improves your local SEO and visibility. I strongly encourage you to use it if eligible. The second update. Another point to notice in this episode is about Microsoft Bing. In the video, I say that Bing's market share was roughly 30 to 35% back in 2020. That is incorrect. That was Bing's worldwide gaming console market share in 2020, according to Backlinko. To be more accurate, according to Mi Tan Xin's Bing stats, Bing is the second largest internet search engine worldwide after Google, getting more than 3 billion monthly active users. Worldwide, Google gets 90.8% of the market share, and Bing is second at 3.72%. But more importantly, for us in the U.S., Bing's U.S. market share was 7.81% last year in 2024. The third update I want to make is to clear up the Bing-Yahoo partnership. Bing supplies search to Yahoo. In other words, Yahoo uses Bing to provide their search for their platform. Moving on, our next section is moving into off-page SEO, which is an expansive list, but we're going to talk about the easiest and the fastest things that you can do for your website to make it rank like the one in the video at the beginning of this presentation. Okay, now let's have a look at off-page SEO. Earlier in this presentation, I showed you a video of the SEO work I had done for my very first client and made that into a video and showed you page after page after page within the Google search of how often my client was coming up on those pages. If memory serves me correctly, I believe of the first 30 opportunities for the search query answers, my client was viewed in 28 of those first ones. That work was done 4 years ago for that client. That work took up to just under a year or about a year to complete. And that was the results at the end of completing the SEO work that was done a little bit each month over time. Now what I want to do is take a look at that work today because I haven't done any more of that specific SEO work for that particular client, but you're going to see that the work I did 4 years ago is still in place today. The work for this client was done in Texas. His business is in the area of Cypress and Bridgeland, Texas. And I want to show you, because it was in an area where it actually is overlapped by 2 cities, I want to show you the work I did for him based on the principles we talked about on local SEO on-page work. And then I will talk to you here about some of the off-page work. First, you'll see that when I put the word Taekwondo in Cypress, Texas, this is what shows up. And we're going to talk about these sections, but this is the Google map. And you'll see his business is actually Young Brothers Taekwondo right here. And you'll see all these red dots are all the Taekwondo studios that are in the area of his studio. Now, his primary business is right on the edge. He's actually, the Cypress, as you can see, is over on this side of the freeway. Bridgeland is where he is over here. So he overlaps both areas. And so we got the radius of both by using 2 keywords. And when you look at the way the search looks today, his search has this section right here. And this section is what we call the 3-pack. In the 3-pack, sometimes you'll see paid advertising or it'll say sponsored ads or something like that. But these are the free organic ads that are shown based on the local SEO work we did. Now, you'll see that it's showing the number of stars, the star rating, and the number of ratings that are online. His is a 4.9 with only 13 reviews. You want to be shown in the 3-pack. In different areas, the competition level can be large or small. In his area, by looking here, you'll see that all of these different martial arts studios that could have been shown in that search. And he was in the top 3 of those shown in that search, which helps his business out tremendously. It's like free advertising just by doing the SEO. But the thing that's most important to see here is, even though one of the businesses is named Cypress Taekwondo, his business is named Young Brothers Taekwondo, which alphabetically should be at the back end. But when you scroll down the page, you'll see that there's a Yelp listing. And the very second listing is not Cypress Taekwondo. It's not even Cypress Martial Arts or Cyfair, which is short for Cypress and Fairfield, I believe. You'll see his Taekwondo studio, Young Brothers Taekwondo, is the very first of all of the possibilities to show in that Google search. Now, that's the only one on the page under Cypress Taekwondo. So I also made sure we did Bridgeland, Texas when we did his SEO. Again, that's basically the same search. And you'll see under the word Bridgeland, he's the first studio. His is the first studio that shows. And you'll see it's the same 3 studios, but for whatever reason, Google found it important to show his studio first, even though the KT Taekwondo has a 5-star rating, which is slightly better than his, and significantly more reviews. By the way, part of the SEO process that I worked on with him was getting him these 13 reviews, which there are more reviews he's had over time, but the older reviews are not showing in this particular Google search. As you scroll down the page, you'll see that all of this is going to be based on the SEO work that I've done for him. The very first thing is he's got a Facebook page. And Facebook, just like Yelp, is a large website that you're not going to be able to compete with as a local business owner. You're never going to be able to jump in front of the big giant websites, because with the things I'm going to tell you about here coming up in the next few minutes about backlinks and citations, you're never going to have as many citations as Facebook. But what you can do is you can make sure your website is connected to companies, which we'll talk about coming up. So the very first opportunity as a small business that he's had to show in the organic search on Google is he shows in the second position, just like he did under Cypress. And as we scroll down, you see Young Brothers Taekwondo here, Young Brothers Taekwondo here. You see his About page shows. You'll see on Angie's List he shows. You'll see that he's showing on Yelp again. He's showing in Copperfield. Actually, Copperfield is one of his sister studios. He used to own that studio. So, but going down, you'll see that the Cypress Creek Lakes and Bridgeland and Northwest Houston, you'll see that he shows under Crunchbase, Local Yahoo, and it just goes on and on. And some more, you'll see that he has videos online, and these were all a part of his local SEO strategy that I built for him and taught him. So let's take a little more of a look at the mistakes that business owners are making and how you can fix those in relation to off-page SEO. So with your local SEO, off-page work that you have to do several things to make sure that your website is visible on the internet. We do a large part of that on the website by making sure that the bots that are on the internet can find your website. The second thing you got to do is you got to tell those sources and those bots where to look for your website, what to look for, what are the keywords to look for, and things of that nature. And all I'm going to talk about here is where off-page SEO starts. So the very first thing that I want to talk about here is that on off-page SEO, you want to connect with Google because Google offers free services to use with your business. So you want to make those services know that your website exists. And the easiest way to do that is to sign up for those services. So the very first thing you want to do is you want to sign up for Google My Business. Google My Business is a mistake that a lot of business owners make, that they don't sign up for Google My Business. Now, when you sign up for Google My Business, you want to put in there your store address, your store information, your store phone number, and there's a whole lot else you can do because it will actually pull those Google reviews that we saw in the view just a few moments ago. Those Google reviews are pulled off of the Google My Business. Those are reviews in there. Another thing is the Google Maps that were shown at the top of that search were pulled from the information that was put into the Google My Business. So what we did differently to outrank all those other martial arts studios in his area is we made sure we had very tight, organized, and the same information being used over and over again. We made sure we set up his Google My Business account so that he had all of that information properly organized so Google could read it. The next thing we did was we used the Google Search Console. This gets a little bit more complicated, so I'm only going to say you want to make sure you have an account set up with your Google Search Console. You can create your business profile simply by going to Business Profile, signing in with whatever Google account that you use for your business, and then go in here and click manage now. And it's a pretty easy setup process. We don't have time to go through all that today, but just know that by using these Google properties, the Google My Business, the Google Analytics, the Google Search Console, just simply by connecting to those, you're showing Google that you have an interest in doing things the right way and doing the things that Google wants to see your business doing correctly, to say that yours is a serious business, not a fly-by-night business that's going to disappear doing illegal things, but that you are a legitimate business trying to conduct operations and provide information via the internet. Let's look at 2 more mistakes that solopreneurs make with regard to off-page SEO and how you can fix these. We just mentioned Google My Business, Google Search Console, and Google Analytics, making sure that you connect to all 3 of these. The next one is connecting with Bing Places for Business. Bing Places for Business is essentially the same thing as Google My Business. And what you do with Bing Places for Business is you put the information in Bing about your website. Now, the thing that makes Bing so important is that Bing serves about 30%, 35% of internet searches. And the reason and the way that it serves those is because if you think about it, the devices that you use on the internet are oftentimes either Apple products or they're Microsoft products. Well, Microsoft owns Bing. Bing is a partnership between Microsoft and Yahoo. And for the purposes of this, just know that any device that is purchased that is a Microsoft-based product is going to be using the Bing Search Console until it has been switched over to Google. So that is the value of using Bing, is that Bing is on 35% of the internet searches, and there are many people who do not change out of using Bing. Okay, mistake number 3 that I wanted to cover in this lesson has to do with citations. Citations are very similar to backlinks. For the sake of this presentation, rather than go into backlinking and citations in a whole lot of detail, what I will tell you is that what they do and the value of them, and then where to get some. Citations and backlinks are another authenticating method that Google uses in its algorithm to identify legitimate websites. The more citations, the more backlinks that go to your site, the better it is for your site. But here's why. If you are saying, if Joe Blow says his website is on the internet and he has Mary Doe's website connecting to it, Google sees a website that's linking to it, but it doesn't have a whole lot of validity by itself. However, if Joe Blow's website has Google Search Console, Google My Business, Google Analytics, Bing Places for Business, Facebook, Yelp, Angie's List, yppages.com or yp.com is what it is nowadays, or any of these other directories, like for instance, if it's a martial arts studio, if it has a martial arts directory that it's listed in, or if it's a dance studio, it has a dance directory that's listed in. Well, all these are authenticators that Google recognizes and Bing recognizes as sources that authenticate your website. And these references, there are 2 types. Backlinks are where somebody has a website that is referring back to content on your website, and that points to your website's landing page or your website's page. That's what a backlink is. But a citation is similar in that it's another website pointing to your page that's authenticating it. But what it essentially is all you have to do is register on that site and put your domain name in and make sure that it shows, and that is a citation. So as an example, simply by signing up on Facebook, making sure that you have a business page on Facebook and that business page points back to your website, that's a citation. Having a citation on Yelp with the same information. If you put your name, address, phone number in for your business on Google My Business, and you would want to put the same exact word for word, abbreviation for abbreviation, period, comma, everything exactly the same. You do the same thing for Yelp, and that is a citation. You do the same thing on directories, on yp.com, and those are citations that authenticate your business. Now, the reason it's significant and it's important to put your directory information exactly the same on every single one. Is it used to be that if one serves as Cypress Road, ROAD, and another citation served as Cypress RD, a long time ago, the search bots on Google and Bing couldn't identify the difference between ROAD and RD. The same thing for capital letters and lowercase and things of that nature. So it's easiest to cut and paste and do this. Now, this is an old practice. Google and Bing and other search engines have gotten better at identifying the slight differences, and that's what they call semantics on the internet and semantic search. That's part of that process. But the bottom line is that it's still a best practice to make sure you use the same exact information, copy and pasted from citation to citation. That way, when Google's serving and when Bing is serving, if it sees a website has the exact same information on site after site after site, it's going to say that that's a more authentic site than if one says it has an address written one way or a phone number written with parentheses and dashes, and then another citation where it's written as, area code dot phone number, and it's going to be different than if it just shows like the straight phone number straight across with no dashes, no dots, no parentheses or anything else. So back in the days when the Google bots and the Bing bots were not as smart, they didn't identify the differences, and so they would serve the one with the least amount of errors. Nowadays, it's still just the best practice to make sure you copy and paste and everything. So that's all I'm going to go into today about off-page SEO. We've talked about local SEO. So now I just got through talking about off-page SEO and some specific easy-to-do tactics to be able to connect your site and be recognized by the biggest citation sources on the internet to recognize your website. Well, this episode sums up my two-part look into on-page, off-page, and local SEO. I've shared how simply following the basic SEO tactics we're able to make a business with a minimal online presence grow to become the #1 competitor in his Northwest Houston, Texas marketplace. The client in the case study was sitting perfectly in place to dominate his competitors in organic search. But this was a unique example. Times have changed and SEO has changed. But if you do the right things, who knows what your results may be. Remember though, these results are not guaranteed and your results may vary. In the next episode of Flip Your Marketing Flops, we will continue to look at organic marketing tactics that can be very helpful while marketing on a shoestring budget. Flip Your Marketing Flops is the digital marketing and lead generation podcast where you can listen in on the latest digital marketing and lead generation trends and tips through conversations with marketing professionals. We're helping service businesses and entrepreneurs produce better marketing results. Tune into our latest episode on your favorite listening platform. Get involved with the show. There are many ways to do so. You can email me here at the show. Just use joe@flipyourmarketingflops.com. If you enjoy the content on this channel, let me know. If you have a digital marketing topic you would like to know more about, tell me about it. And if there is someone you think I should have on the show, just give me their name. You are crucial to the success of this show, just as I want to be helpful in the success of your business, and I want to give you information you want to know about. So be sure to subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and comment below. Remember, every marketing flop is just a lesson waiting to be flipped. For more information, visit flipyourmarketingflops.com.